Hey guys, welcome to another video brought to you by Total Control Traders. Welcome to this first video of my trading journey series. Just like most of you watching, I was not born knowing how to trade. Surprise! I don't think any of us are. But nor did I have parents that were able to teach me how to trade. My parents are not anywhere near this field. In fact, when I told them that I switched career to full-time day trading, first thing they told me is, all right, just be careful. Stock market it's scary. It's like a gamble. And a lot of people say that. Actually, I've had multiple comments on that front, where when they hear that I'm day trading as a full-time job, they say, well, that's somewhat like gambling. It's like my husband going to the casino, or my husband playing in a poker tournament. But to those who are in the industry, like your husband in playing the poker tournament, he would not say it's gambling. There is a skill that's based in it too. Maybe 10%, maybe 15%, I'm not too sure. But with trading, same thing. If you are able to develop that skill, you can increase your chances exponentially. With trading, I find it's more so an educated guess. Again, it's not 100% not gambling, but at least you're making an educated decision, as long as you have that skill to back it up. Right? So this video is going to focus on giving you an idea of how most people's trading began and evolved, and how I personally developed the skill. Okay, all right, let's get into it. First investment ever. My first investment ever was back in 2009. 2009, I think it was a few months after the crash, and I was nowhere even close to the industry. I wasn't in anything finance related. I think I was still in retail, I think, coming out of high school kind of thing, just doing server job or retail sales kind of hourly based jobs. And even when you aren't in the industry, with that kind of correction, you hear about it. I heard about it. Then a few months down the road, I was thinking to myself, all right, well, now that people have talked about correction and it's been some time already, maybe the market's coming back. And at the time, I didn't even know how to look at any market, any stocks, any tickers, market, just market alone. I haven't even looked at SPX, Dows, nothing. Don't know how to check gold prices. But I went into the bank, and at that time I had as $2,000 Canadian that I had saved, alongside I think it was $500 living expenses. So then I was like, okay, you know what? Going to the bank, I got $2,000 I want to invest. What do you recommend? The girl, junior financial service rep at TD, the girl recommended me, you know what, based on your age, and if you're looking to invest long term, I recommend Dividend Growth Fund. It's a mutual fund, and a year down the road, it had doubled. So I still haven't checked back on what exactly happened in the market, but I'm assuming it did good, and we'll probably check back in a little bit here. But that was my first investment, doubling in roughly a year or 2 years kind of thing. So then from there, it sort of sparked a little bit of an interest. It's like, okay, if I can buy something and then hold it for a year or two to make money without doing anything, who wouldn't be interested, right? And don't get me wrong, being a day trader is one of the hardest jobs out there. 90% of people fail to make money, 5% of people fail to make a living from it. So in order for you to do this successfully, there is only 5% of people that can do this. You need to become one of the top 5%. Okay. If it was easy, the payout wouldn't be anywhere decent, right? It's like retail jobs. Payouts, there's demand for it, there's constant demand for it, but there's oversupply in it. But with day trading, it's different. Anyway, so coming to 2014, that was my first stock trade. It was right after Apple split. And we can see on the chart here, on June 9th, 2014, we can see here that TradingView had added a function or the ability to mark notable events, which shows here June 9th, 2014 split. But before they did that, I had marked it down sort of just like some symbols. But from there, I heard it beforehand. I can't remember when I heard about the Apple split. Probably when they announced it, doing this jump, I would assume. Then from there, I finally decided to walk into a brokerage and inquire about opening an account. And from there, it took every single Wednesday's lunch hour. At that time, TD Waterhouse, they held seminars every Wednesday at lunch for an hour. So I took every single Wednesday's lunch hour, my break time, to go into a seminar. At first, when I first went in, I was hoping to learn how to actually buy stock or how to sell stocks. I didn't know that it's just simply logging on, looking at the ticker, and hitting buy, or changing the quantity that you want, and then hitting buy. I didn't know it was that simple. So going into the seminars, looking for some information, but ended up learning a whole lot more about options, hedging, how to use options as an income strategy, cover calls, naked calls, things like that. So I ended up learning a whole lot more. Make sure bring a notebook if you ever go to a seminar. Biggest tip I can give you, it's obvious too. Bring a notebook, jot down what you learn. And I've re-looked at that notebook quite a few times after the seminars. Yeah, so back to the stock split. I had wanted to buy, I believe this was like the 4th stock split, if we were to look up the history. Let's take a look. All right, so there's one first one, 1987. There's no way I could have gotten into that one. Year 2000, I heard about that one. Year 2005, that was the regret that I didn't get in. Then finally, the year 2014 was the 7-to-1 split. All the previous ones were 2-for-1, and this 7-to-1, the stock was trading at 600 some at that point, 500 some or 600 some. So each 600 some, because after the split, the stock price was $80 some. So yeah, 7-for-1 split. And I was thinking to myself, oh man, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. And being young and careless, I leveraged my condo at the time and basically just put a leverage trade in, and they split, or I put the trade was after they split. The split was here, June 9th, and I bought in. Remember, didn't know how to look at charts. This is just pure luck. I bought in on August 8th, 2014, after this slight pullback. I don't think I bought in the bottom. I bought it somewhere near the top, more like. But it was a good day to buy. And from there, what happened was I held it for about 7 months. Yeah, I held it for 7 months up until March. So from August to March. And as you can tell, there's no reason for selling here. If you wanted to sell, would have sold here kind of on the break of the support. So didn't know how to look at charts. Again, sold it here on March 15th. That trade alone on the stock side, I believe if I remember correctly, it was about 20%. Okay, 30%. And the currency at the time, Canadian to US, was 1-to-1 back here, roughly about 1-to-1. Then US became 1.2, 1.25-ish to every dollar of Canadian. Oh no, every dollar of US is 1.2 to 1.25 Canadian. So on the currency side, made another 20%. That was a mind-opening event. It's not life-changing. It definitely wasn't anything like, 6-figure or 7-figure trades, but that was an eye-opening event of how stock markets can actually become profitable. And reason why I didn't would have invested in the 2005 split, but reason why I didn't was I had just moved out at the time. Didn't have a computer, didn't know anything about stocks. What was more urgent on my mind was making a living. I had just moved out, but at this time I had gotten my condo, had paid off the condo, probably about 30-40% of the condo, so I was able to do a leveraging on it, and very fortunate. Didn't know what I was doing. Could have, if I knew what I was doing, I might have very well sold here when they came back. But sort of just leveraged, held it, didn't look at it. Well, didn't look at the charts, kept looking at the portfolio. Every day it was up. And then 7 months later, you know what? I like this. I think at the time was over a year of salaries worth. So then I cashed out. So that was my first stock trade ever. Minimal cash. I don't remember putting any cash in. It's all leverage. Big lesson learned, and now looking back at it, there's actually a decent selling point. From there, we dropped down for quite a long time, eh? Yeah, so that trade actually worked out. And I do not recommend leveraging, especially unless you really know what you're doing. Back then I was young and didn't know what I was doing and fearless. Just every time I looked at Apple, I heard about its splits, the year 2000, the year 2005, both of them. Year down the road, the stock price just rocketed. So going in, I was thinking I'll hold it for a year. Had I held it for a year, let's take a look. Wrong spot. June 9th. June 9th. It would have been roughly about the same. Yeah, so that was the target to begin with, about a year, and it worked out. It opened my eyes to what stock trading can do, how big of a unknown world it is that's waiting to be discovered. So from there, a year later, I picked up trading more frequently. I wouldn't say completely frequent, completely daily kind of thing. However, Apple is a stock that I am in love with, because from here, I sold it here. I went back into it in June of 2017. I can't remember the exact date, but it's going to be around that June of 2017. This one, I did get the bottom of the higher low, fortunately. Then sold again, a portion of it, held the profit and held the profit from the leverage after paying back the leverage. Then here, I think I was back home in my home country in Taiwan at that time, and I had learned a lot more about charts by then. 3 years down the road, 4 years down the road, I was looking at the chart back here. I was thinking to myself, I can't remember what it was. There was some events going on. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, this chart doesn't look too stable. I think there's going to be a drop coming. So then ended up selling on this big red day right in the middle, October 2018. I think that's the last time I held Apple long. From there, it did just consistently tank down. And tank down to the price that I actually bought it back in 2014. That would have been a beautiful entry. But hey, you live and you learn, right? Can never nail the bottom, can never nail the top. But that's my story of Apple trades. From there, I became a lot more active trading. And as mentioned in the intro video, last 3 years of my banking career wasn't exactly too exciting. So what I ended up doing was I woke up every morning at 5:30 to 6, and because I'm located in Calgary, so 5:30 to 6, market opens at 7:30. You gotta make sure you do your homework, do some research before the market opens. Then once the market opens, I would trade from 7:30 to 8:15, 8:30ish, and I would be all dressed, in my dress pants, in my dress pants and in a dress shirt. It's been so long since I wore them. Can't remember what they're called. Dress pants, dress shirt, and trade till because sometimes it just goes all the way till 8:30, and from there it's I just put on my jacket and go to work from 9 to 5. And by doing that for consistently for 6 months, a year, 6 months to a year time, I learned even more. So for those of you that are working 9 to 5, it doesn't mean you can't trade. You have to learn how to work around it. You want to make sure you spend the time to obtain the knowledge that's necessary. Because if you don't spend the time to obtain the knowledge necessary, how are you going to get anywhere, right? Make sure you spend the time. Trade, whether it's in the morning, before market close, during lunch hours, whichever it is, or even during, I don't know if it's a good thing, but maybe even during work time. If your work is slow, it's okay to trade, right? If you got all your stuff done already, I don't think your boss would care too much unless it's a micromanagement boss. But yeah, it's spend the time to learn. Make sure whether that means waking up early or going to bed late, watch videos. There's so many channels now where you can learn stuff from. Unlike before, I don't recall using YouTube too much back in the days for learning how to trade, but now there's channels and videos everywhere. And by all means, mine's not gonna be the one. Watch other videos. Watch the ones that clicks with you, So anyways, from there, that's my Apple trade. And I went into full-time. Well, the last time I went active trading was the marijuana sector, and ended up holding a bag. So really wanted to start learning on how to deep dive into charts. That bag has finally just became green in the last week or so, and because that bag was pretty big bag, my account, it actually helped making my account to new all-time highs. And that's why there was a mini celebration in the in our 24/7 trading chat room this weekend. So yeah, you never know with stocks. It's Biden's election definitely helped, and I'm happy for it. We'll be looking to hold on for a little bit longer, but have trimmed a lot of the position into a comfortable holding size. Nothing like a huge bag anymore. And then after the bag that happened, it started to be a bag for marijuana. What happened was went to full-time trading last year, 2 days before the market crash. The market crashed on February 20. Let me check that. The market crashed on the first day of pullback was February 20th. And I went into full-time trading on February 18th. And one of the biggest regrets was not holding on to TVIX. It's a triple leverage volatility ETF. I had quite a bit of it, like 100 shares at that time, and that I had accumulated from before the last leg of the run up. And going into full-time trading, I was thinking, you know what? First thing I gotta learn is cut losses. Stop holding bags. Looking at the marijuana bag. So I cut it, and 2 days later, market started pulling back. Huge. Those TVIX went from, let me look this up. Oh, you can't even anymore. Those TVIX, I believe they went from somewhere like $20 to 1,000. 20, something like 10 or $20 to 1,000 bucks. That, when I was looking back at it, those 100 shares alone, the profit on them, had I held at least through the beginning of the going into full-time trading, that alone would have made my full year's salary plus more already. And as mentioned, back when I was working 9 to 5, I was never making anywhere near 6 figures. So most of my savings were either from hard savings, a hard solid saving plan with proper investment advice, proper investment style. It's never been from salary. Anyways, so from there, going into full-time trading, I gotta say, 2020 was the best year for me personally. And that's not because of income. That's because of how much I was able to learn, how exciting the stock market was. It's every day there's, you don't see back-to-back SPX getting halted day after day. You just don't see that normally. It was exciting times. I learned so much. It was the most I've progressed in 1 year ever. And it's just like anything in life. You just gotta do it to learn it. And now I'm going into 2021 with much more confidence. Now I know I'm not the best or the most seasoned trader out there. As a matter of fact, I'm probably far from it. But that's the exact reason why I decided to start this YouTube channel. Plenty of you want to trade, and I'm sure plenty of you are getting into trading because of this Tesla run, and it's causing a lot of brokerage problems for across the board for Canadian brokerages. So know that when the market is rushing in, it may not necessarily be a good time to invest. Okay. Plenty of channels out there tell you what to buy, what to trade, when to buy, when to sell, or how they're doing. But I just want to get this message out there that my channel, Total Control Traders, is not gonna be focusing on that. Our focus is as a community, as viewers, we want to get you to where you need to be, skill level wise, in order to withstand on your own. And then from there, we work as a community, as a team, to make sure that every single member benefit. Every single member can make money together. There is, and I find that there is a lack of channels where everyone learns together. Now, I am still growing myself. I'm not, by far, not the best or the most seasoned trader out there. But I just wanted to share my trading experience with you all so that hopefully you can learn from my mistakes and along the way so that you can avoid making them yourselves. The things I have been through this year in 2020, 2021, I'm sure many of you will be going through or have been through as well. This is a channel where people can share their experiences as we all learn from the progress from each other and grow together. Without taking action, you cannot progress. That's it for the first video of this trading journey series. I hope you guys enjoy the content, and thank you for watching. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button so you can get updates on our daily videos. I will see you in the next video.